She was 16 years old, living in what should have been the safest place she knew, with a future that was only just beginning to take shape. When Becky Watts disappeared from her home in a quiet Bristol suburb, there were no signs of a struggle, no clear answers, and no immediate reason to believe she would not return. As the days passed, concern turned into dread, and the search for a missing teenager began to reveal something far darker. This is the story of Becky Watts, a case that exposed how danger can hide behind familiarity and how betrayal can exist within the walls of one's own home. A teenager who vanished. On the morning of the 19th of February 2015, Becky Watts, a 16-year-old schoolgirl, was reported missing from her home in Stoke Gifford, Bristol. She had last been seen the previous evening at the house she shared with her father, stepmother, and stepbrother. When she failed to return or make contact, concern quickly turned into alarm. Becky was described as bright, artistic, and independent. She had plans for the future and was close to friends who knew her as thoughtful and determined. Within hours, police launched a missing persons investigation. No one yet knew that Becky had already been dead for days. Becky lived in a semi-detached house on Cannings Road, a quiet residential street. Also living there was her 28-year-old stepbrother, Nathan Matthews, and his girlfriend, Shauna Hoare, aged 25. The arrangement had been uneasy. Becky had expressed discomfort about Matthews' presence in the house and had made it clear that she wanted to move out. Those tensions would later prove crucial. In the days following her disappearance, Matthews and Hoare gave multiple media interviews appealing for Becky's safe return. Their public concern appeared genuine.
She was just perfect, feisty, funny. She could make a good situation out of anything bad. She'd always make you laugh as well.
9 months.
Behind the scenes, detectives were beginning to notice inconsistencies. A timeline that did not fit. Police pieced together Becky's final hours. On Friday, the 13th of February 2015, Becky had returned home in the early evening. At some point that night, she was strangled inside the house. The killing was not spontaneous. Evidence would later show that Matthews had planned the murder in advance, motivated by resentment and a desire to remove Becky from the household. After killing her, Matthews and Hoare concealed her body. As days passed with no sign of Becky, the investigation escalated. Police searched the family home and nearby areas. Forensic officers examined rooms, drains, and other outdoor spaces. Digital evidence, including phone records and internet searches, was analysed. Investigators uncovered disturbing online searches made by Matthews, including queries related to body disposal and decomposition. The focus of the investigation narrowed rapidly. Confession and a horrific discovery. On the 27th of February 2015, 2 weeks after Becky went missing, and after sustained police questioning, Nathan Matthews confessed. He admitted to killing Becky and to dismembering her body with the assistance of Shauna Hoare. Her remains had been placed in bags and transported to different locations across Bristol. One of the most significant discoveries was made at Barton Hill, where parts of Becky's remains were recovered from a shed. The scale of the concealment shocked even seasoned detectives. Additional remains were later recovered from other sites, including areas linked to Matthews' movements in the days following her death. The discovery was devastating for Becky's family and marked a grim turning point in the case. What had begun as a missing person investigation was now undeniably a homicide, revealing the lengths taken to conceal her death and erase her presence entirely. The role of Shauna Hoare. Although Matthews was identified as the primary perpetrator, evidence showed that Shauna Hoare played an active role after the murder. She helped to move Becky's body, clean the crime scene, and mislead police. She also participated in media appeals, standing beside Matthews while knowing the truth. Hoare later admitted that she had not taken part in the killing itself, but acknowledged her involvement in the aftermath. Her actions prolonged the investigation and deepened the family's suffering. The trial. In October of 2015, the case went to trial at Bristol Crown Court. Prosecutors described Matthews as controlling, resentful, and calculating. The jury heard how he had planned the murder, selected a time when others were absent, and taken steps to avoid detection. Matthews pleaded guilty to murder. Shauna pleaded guilty to manslaughter by diminished responsibility, citing mental health issues, though the court found that she had acted knowingly in concealing the crime. Nathan Matthews was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 33 years. The judge described the murder as chilling, premeditated, and carried out with a complete disregard for Becky's life. Shauna Hoare received a life sentence with a minimum term of 17 years, reflecting her role in covering up the killing and disposing of the body. Both were told that they would serve lengthy prison terms for their actions. A family destroyed. Becky's parents and siblings spoke of unbearable loss. Her death fractured a family and left lasting trauma. The betrayal was not only violent, but intimate. Becky had been killed in the place where she should have been safest, by someone that she lived with. Public reaction was one of shock and anger, particularly at the deception shown during the media appeals. Becky Watts was just 16 years old. She loved art, music, and creative expression. She had plans to travel, to study, and to build a life on her own terms. Her murder remains one of the most disturbing family-based killings in modern British criminal history, not just because of the mystery, but because of its calculated cruelty. She did not vanish. She was taken.